So we're using the GoPro because we had a minor issue with an SD card with the other camcorder and all that sort of situation, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, if you remember 10 or 11 months ago, I did a try series and retry series on an Apple iPhone. Well, you'll be happy to know that after 10 or 11 months, oh my God, we got problems. Big ones. First of all, the biggest thing that needs to be addressed is their battery sucks. I mean, really sucks. Look at that, 93% capacity after 10 months or 11 months. That is ridiculous, Apple. That is ridiculous. Put better batteries in your phone. Because when I had an Android over maybe a couple of years, I never noticed any problem with the battery. But now, you can't even get half a day on this thing. Without it screaming at you, 20% battery all the all the damn time. So, yeah, and as you can see from all the stuff on it, it just shows that I have used it because like it's been abused. It's been out and about, and the case has done it well. I think it's a really good case. Traps in a lot of lint, but what doesn't, all the cases do. I mean, this one went yellow for God's sake for no damn reason. But this phone, this Apple phone that I've got here, had a really good capacity and was cheap as well. These are not cheap devices. And I still got the box, believe it or not. It is a bit dusty, but that just shows that I don't really touch the boxes when I'm done with them. But yeah. Now, let's go to the elephant in the room. They do slow you down. Yeah. All that crap on the telly you hear about, oh, Apple doesn't slow you down and Android does. Well, guess what? They both do the same thing. They both slow you down. They're not great devices, but at least with the Android, you are not so restricted on software, and you're not like totally slowed down. You can actually up the performance in an application. With an Apple phone, it's a bit more harder to do. There's all these scam ones that try and take away information, etc., and make you pay money for a lot of things. And that's another thing. That's another thing I liked about the Google Play Store. You could just get any app for free nearly, and it was just totally risk-free. With this thing, it doesn't matter what you install most of the time, it's got to have a fee attached to it, and unless you're Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or whoever that the person's in charge now, you don't have the money to basically to pay for all these apps at once. I mean, recently Apple has been told off for the USB-C type, which is why they changed it to that, and they've also been told off about the sealed up batteries and stuff like that, and not making it accessible in the EU market, etc. Yeah, as I said, if you remember back, we also had to look at this iPhone right here, this crappy one, this one that had a bad battery in it, and I got it replaced, the battery, and he fucked it up. And yeah, the reason I keep this pile of dog shit to this day is just like a centerpiece, basically, just to show, something. Anyway, I even got a nice case for it, a red nice case, but unfortunately, But yeah, battery capacity, terrible. Absolutely terrible. After about 10 months, it's already at 93% capacity, and it shows. You charge it up to 100% the previous night, it doesn't even last you half a day or part of the morning. It's pretty damn bad. I mean, I've been watching a few YouTube videos and it's at 72% already, and yet with my friends' phones, they've all got like 92% after watching a load of videos, etc. So it's not great, considering the fact that this is a cheaper device and it has a better and bigger battery. And yet this is more expensive, gets more grubby, and is just dreadful in the OS. Now and again it slows you down. It's bare bones. Alright, fair enough, the OS is okay, but it's so bare bones compared to something like an Android. With Android you have a million customizations and all that sort of situation. And yeah, it doesn't mean I'll go back to an Android. I mean, I might consider going back to an Android now and again, but I won't be coming in my pants if there's a new iPhone sale that comes out. You know what I mean? I'll just be going, another fucking iPhone, it looks the same. You know, because, oh, dude, that's another issue they have. They all look the same. Doesn't matter how many cameras they put on it, it all looks the same. It all does the same shit. And over time, it will mess you up in the battery. Oh, yeah, and that's another thing, batteries. To get a battery replaced in this thing, 70 odd pounds. And in the Apple store, I believe it's like 20 quid cheaper or something. But still, it's like, what? It's a fucking battery. It's not like it's a space program or something that it has to have programmed into it or anything like that. No. And that also reminds me of another gripe and another problem. With an Android, I never had to change the battery. Even though it was all sealed up and they basically pulled an Apple on us, it still works strong to this day. I've had that thing in this cupboard for around about 6 or something months, and the battery's still strong on these. So, and this is a cheap ass phone as well. It's like, what, £200 this Apple thing when it was out? Now it's a bit more dearer. And yet this thing was way more expensive and gives you less. So, what can I say? What can I say? Apple, it just works. Yeah, it does work. But guess what? When it breaks down, it's aggravating. Especially the battery, especially the OS. And especially I have to pay a lot of money to all these apps. It's ridiculously overpriced. And in my opinion, I would personally say avoid Apple. Unless you want to try it, give it a go and, you know, waste your money. But at the end of the day, my opinion is, you know, Android is much more fluid. You got so much more customization. You can actually put live wallpapers on these thing, for God's sake. This one you can't. Unless it's under Apple's thing, and even then it only does a minor 2 seconds of an action, which is crap. This thing does it all day and doesn't have an issue. And this is a cheap ass phone as well, and it does way more features. Camera quality, basically they're the same. Basically they're both basically the same, just one's a little bit different because it's a bit older in the spec. But apart from that, they're both the same, in my opinion. It's just a phone, it works, you know. And now and again, it's been buggy, you know, with some phone numbers. But, you know, all my own fault, of course. But, you know, at the end of the day, just be very careful out there when you get an Apple device. Unfortunately, I wasn't. When I bought this iPhone, I thought, I'd get the Apple AirTags because this phone's lasting a decent amount of time, up to 10 months now. I got the Apple AirTags, and as soon as I got those, a battery fails on this phone. So yeah, just a little heads up there.